What up, YouTube? It is your girl Pimp back with another video, and I'm so excited about this interview because we are going to be talking to Flying Rich. We're going to be talking from planes to technology to guns, all types of stuff. But before we do, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you make thumbs it up. Let us know what you like about the content. So, without further ado, Flying Rich, how are you?
Good, good. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Pretty good in Illinois. It's nice weather, not too bad. It's like 80 degrees, nice breeze.
Oh,
So,
that'd be cold for here. I'm in Palm Beach.
yeah, yeah, very cold, super cold. But you said it's raining out there?
It like drizzled. The joke is my father-in-law makes a joke that in Palm Beach, the 6 months of the year, the forecast is, mid to upper 80s chance of afternoon thunderstorm. And that's
Mm.
pretty accurate. You could retire on that,
Oh
if you're a
wow.
weatherman.
Oh wow. Okay, okay. I'm actually going to be in Florida. Well, next year we're going to be in Florida for a gun event, so I'm excited about that because I
Oh,
haven't
what are
been.
you going for?
Well, I don't know if you follow a regular gun guy.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he has well the last 3 years he had a what he called a regular meetup where a whole bunch of YouTubers got together and was like, hey, why not meet up? And
Oh, cool.
so next year's it's actually gonna be in Georgia. I forgot the name of the actual city, but it's not too far from Tallahassee.
Oh, okay.
So
All
I'll
right.
be I'll be posting flyers and stuff. So it's very fun. People get together, shoot each other guns, things of that nature, fellowship, all types of stuff.
Yeah, I did 1 year. What is that place? Do you know the range name? Because Iraq Veteran did a range event in Georgia. It's just north of Florida there.
You know what? I have no idea what the name is.
I'm blanking on the name right now.
I have no idea. I was trying to think of the city, but I have no idea what the range is.
Hmm.
Last year we was in well, actually not even less than a year ago we was in Nashville,
Hmm.
and I forgot the name of that range as well. But we was in Nashville. That was a good time. It was a lot of people, so I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm getting into all the gun events and things of that
Oh yeah,
nature.
yeah.
'Cause
There's a lot of firearms events to go to, and it's tough to go to them all.
yes,
And I'm an IT consultant, so when I'm working, I don't want to take any time off. And then if I'm between jobs, I want to save money, and then I don't want to go.
right, right.
So I try to be pretty picky about where I go.
Same. That's why I say I can go to maybe 2 or 3 a year, and that's my
Hmm.
max.
Right.
Because it does get a little expensive as well, especially if you're taking your own weapons there,
Hmm.
flying them out. So yeah, I'm with you on that. But introduce yourself. I'm so sorry. I mean,
So yeah, I'm flying rich. Originally, I was doing like tech podcasting. I still do a couple of tech podcasts, but I do a lot of 2A podcasts. And like from the banner, I do a show 4 days a week with John Crump, who's an investigative journalist in the 2A field.
hmm
And I'm on other people's shows. So DLD After Dark, he's a good guy. We talk, very frequently, and he does 3 shows a week. So I'll pop on there.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm a 2A techie cloud engineer by trade,
Hmm.
pilot for fun, and my finances are getting better, and I'll be able to start flying again. But I just probably taken a 7 year hiatus from flying because that ain't cheap, and
hmm
uh, got to pay some bills. So,
Oh, absolutely. Like, what made you even get into the whole plane thing?
oh God, ever since I was 5 years old, I always wanted to learn how to fly. I always wanted to fly a plane. My dad had taken a couple of lessons, and he had a friend that was an instructor. And so when I was like 5 years old, he took us up in a small plane. This is on Long Island. We flew from let's see, airport Nassau County over Shelter Island and back, and I was like just hooked.
Yeah.
So and the funny thing was, it was a conversation at work, and I told people the exact same story I just told you, my coworkers, and one of them said, "So, why don't you take lessons?" It's like there. I don't think there was Google back then. I probably used Alta Vista
Oh wow.
and like looked up a flight school, and
Uh,
it was like a Friday, so booked a flight, introductory flight Saturday morning, and I ended up not going with that school and going with a private individual that he owns a number of
mhm.
planes and just loves teaching flying.
Wow.
and he's become a close friend of mine. I'm now a 1,000-hour instrument rated pilot, and the instrument rating is the hardest rating to get in aviation. So, multi-engine, airline transport, all of that stuff is easy compared to the instrument rating.
Oh, wow.
So, it's a bit of hard work, a lot of
Hmm.
practice, a
Hmm.
lot of scaring yourself pretty good, and
Yeah, I was gonna
um,
ask if it was scary. Like,
well, it's weird if you're one of the things that we talk about in aviation is currency, meaning in the last 30, 60, or 90 days, how many times has this event happened? Like, so how many night landings do you have in the last 30 days? How, in the tough thing about an instrument rating to stay current with it is in the last, and I probably going to give you the wrong numbers, but it's like in the last 90 days, you have to do three hours of actual or simulated instrument flight and three instrument or simulated instrument approaches to
hmm.
keep your qualification up. So it's kind of a high standard to maintain. So um, it, so if you have a buddy that's a pilot, he'll be your safety pilot, and you put basically it's like goggles that are
Hmm.
frosted except like the lower portion, so you can only see your instruments,
Hmm.
and you do practice approaches like that. So it
Wow.
with normal flying, it's just a stink load of fun. Typically, I kind of make jokes about people that fly Cessnas because you fly 100 miles an hour. Well, my car does better than that. It's you really need to fly if you want to have a plane to go somewhere. You need to fly about 200 miles an hour to make it reasonable.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I ended up, I never thought I'd ever own a plane. I
Hmm.
bought my first plane for 20 grand. The plane
Hmm.
was easily worth much more than that,
Hmm.
and it somebody defaulted on a loan, and I ended up getting it from the bank, basically.
Okay.
So they didn't know what to do with it, and so here's the bad story. If you don't know me, I've actually had two plane crashes. So the first one, I was coming in for a landing at Isla Airport, and I guess it's probably about 20 years ago.
Hmm.
And this is after 9/11, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna look stupid. I'm on the glide slope. I'm just gonna like land and push my plane off the runway, and I'm gonna look stupid pushing my plane at the airport.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, I had a 30 knot headwind, and I was not gonna make it to the airport. I didn't, calculate for the headwind, and I ended up hitting the roof of one house, hitting the road, sliding backwards through a fence into another house. And
Wow.
so
Wow.
all the New York papers, all the New York media covered it, actually dipped the stock market on that day because there was word of a plane crash in New York again. So they're thinking 9/11.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I had another plane crash, I guess about 10 years ago. The canopy flew open on my plane and everything flew out of the cockpit and took about a foot off the propeller. And I ended up landing on a road. I couldn't make it to the airport. I just couldn't maintain altitude.
Hmm.
And so on the way down, let's see, I took out a power wire. When I touched down a stop sign, I hit a car
Wow.
with my left wing and a speed limit sign on the right side. So
Wow.
that plane was repairable and is
Hmm.
mostly repaired. I just ran out of money.
Got you. Got you.
So
You gotta have
the
money.
engine. Yeah. It's a stink load of money to fly. Typically better than $100 an hour.
Oh wow.
Um, and and it's nice if you own your own plane and own equipment because then nobody's messing with your stuff. Like if you got a rental
Hmm.
plane, you never
Hmm.
know what kind of condition it's in or who abused it last. And you can't typically rent a plane like I fly, something that flies in the 200 mile an hour range.
Hmm.
So then, you really need to own a plane. In I haven't crunched the numbers lately, but it used to be if you fly about 40 hours a year, it's worth owning a plane.
Okay. And that makes sense. That makes sense. Because like you say, it's expensive. So why just have something
Hmm.
expensive just sitting in your
Yeah,
backyard?
yeah.
and not
Well,
use it.
yeah, hangar costs are expensive. So if you keep it in a hangar, that's typically $1,000 a month.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, yeah. So just to park your plane costs $1,000.
Wow.
So
Jesus.
there's yeah, and aviation gas right now, super cheap aviation gas is $4 a gallon.
Mm. Whew. Well, these are the
So,
times.
but my plane will do like 7.5 gallons an hour at about 200 miles an hour.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I'm getting like in the 30 mile per gallon range on my airplane.
Okay. That makes sense. But that man, that's awesome. That's awesome. I wish you was my dad. Cause I'll I'll ask to
Right,
fly every
right.
day. Can we fly to the grocery store? Like
Oh gosh, yeah. My wife hates the plane. She doesn't
uh-huh.
she doesn't like the plane I fly. Like if I had a different plane, she'd be okay with it. But
Hmm.
like the first plane she would want to fly in would be closer to $1 million. And I don't have
Oh.
that kind of money.
Oh, so she wants the luxury with the wine and the lobster served
Oh,
and
so yeah, okay. It's interesting. Like cars, a buddy of mine has an Audi R8, and I was thinking like, hey, I got this new job. I sell my house in New York. I'll be able to pay off all my debt, and maybe I'll have 50, 60 grand throw an Audi R8. Well, since COVID,
hmm.
those things, I figured get first gen R8 V10, be like 60 grand, maybe find a fixer upper.
Hmm.
That stuff's crazy. So it used to be only airplanes increased in value. So
Hmm.
you would have like right now a Cessna 172 is like 200 grand. It would decrease, and then maybe once it hits 15, 20 years old, it starts increasing again. It starts appreciating value. And
Okay.
most cars don't do that. Now
Hmm.
post COVID, everything is different. And it it would be one of those things where you think an airplane can actually be an investment
Hmm.
because you'll buy it for a certain amount and it's worth more money 5, 10 years down the road.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh wow. I really want one. No, I really
Well,
want one.
it's a bunch of training. There's ways to do it cheaper. Like I paid a private instructor, which you can join some clubs and like the Coast Guard Auxiliary Air Wing and stuff like that, and probably get
Okay.
instruction on the cheap. Um, I probably did it the most expensive way.
Okay. Gotcha. So I know on your YouTube, I didn't see you do repair batteries. I seen one episode where you did something with the fans, but what made you go into the 3D printing with like the guns and everything like that?
So, and that's kind of a funny thing. I was like an early adopter of 3D printing, so more than 6 years ago, and I got my OG 3D printer right here on my desk.
I seen it.
The the I have so an ANET A8, and it's not a kit; it's like parts, and it takes about 8 hours to assemble.
Mm-hmm.
The I have two Ender 3s, and they take about 3 hours to assemble.
Mm.
And I was printing all sorts of stuff, 6+ years ago, and then I kind of stopped. And what happened is I'm a lefty. I pocket carry. I was working in an office,
Mm-hmm.
and I would carry like an LC9S in my pocket. And if you lean against something, you'd eject the mag and the gun's dead,
Yep.
or the safety on the frame, and basically you can't pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, hey, I want to 3D print a left-handed LC9 frame. And that's how I started going. And now I have a SIG P365 that I swapped the mag release on because it's reversible.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I carry that. My wife has a 365 also. And that had a whole bunch of custom work. It's actually back getting a little bit of touch up. I wonder if I can find it because it's cool. It's crazy.
Because I even seen
Uh,
where you made holsters for yourself as well.
yeah. I 3D printed a left-handed holster. What's funny is somebody downloaded that, flipped it because you can mirror 3D printed objects, and made
Mm-hmm.
it a right-handed holster. So that
Oh,
was kind of
wow.
cool.
Okay. So why do you think people frown so much on the whole 3D printing?
Well, so the media wants to put it out there that bad guys are 3D printing guns. So hold on, right here. So
Yes, I seen that on your Instagram.
that's my
Yes.
wife's 365 slide. So it's laser engraved, gold plated. That's not titanium nitrate. That's actually 24 karat gold.
Oh my God. And you did that yourself?
No, no, no.
Oh,
So
I have to say, wow, now you a genius now.
no. So yeah, somebody else was doing it. I kind of horse traded, some slides and stuff like that with him. So I actually have, whatever my cost was on the parts with
Hmm.
zero money. So I had bought, I don't know if it was like 30. No, I think I bought 50 Glock polymerate kits to sell at gun shows,
Hmm.
and I had a bunch of stuff left over. So friend of a friend kind of thing, and we just met up, and he does gold plating. I'm like, hey, could you do something with this?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, okay. Well, back to the 3D thing with with the media.
Yeah. So hold on, let me show you something cool. I gotta put the dog down. So this is actually like my remix on a Glock 34 Bullpup. It's originally designed by
Hmm.
Control Q,
Okay.
and I modified a bunch of things. It's still not 100%, but basically, do I have a Glock bag around? Let's see. I don't have a Glock bag, but the bag goes in the back here.
Mhm.
This was designed by
Wow.
Control Q because Brandon Herrera, the AK guy, hates bullpups, and he said someday somebody will make a Glock bullpup. So this is it. So I was in on the alpha. I kind of forked the project myself.
I like that trigger.
Yeah, I kind of skeletonized it. I mean, that's stupid easy to do. And I actually have this. Let's see. Do I have all the parts here? Yeah. So I got this is an AR9, and I was doing some modifications on it, but
Hmm.
Invader Zip designed this, and he's a fellow Floridian. And let's see, is it all gonna go together? I got to drop the barrel in just right. Yeah, hold on.
Look at that.
So Invader Zip is working on the AR-15 version of this. So
Hmm.
this is how it goes together. I just think it's cool
Wow.
AF. I mean,
That
so
is.
Glock Mag, there's like 3,000 possible combinations you can print this as,
Wow.
and and I got my $30 Fiatchi optic on it,
Yes,
and it's a
yes.
freaking hack driver. It's just, I figured, what the heck? It takes about 2 spools of filament, so it's $40. The metal parts in here, so it's an AR-15 fire control group,
Hmm.
AR-9 barrel, AR-9 bolt, AR-9 barrel nut, a buffer, and a buffer spring, and that's all the metal parts. The upper and lower receiver are fully printed,
Wow.
and props out to Invader Zip, cool as fuck. Love it.
That is awesome, Rich. Oh my God. That is so awesome. And I love that you
And
shout out the budget optics because people are so against it. But I've seen people buy some from Amazon, Walmart, and they work just as good as a
yeah,
Hollyson, you know?
it's not a go to war thing. It's not like I'm going to risk my life on it. Definitely if it's part of your EDC or go to war, spend the money, get a better optic.
Right,
If
right.
it's something for fun, yeah, I'm going to throw a $30 optic. It's funny. One of the videos I did, I got a bolt action 50 cal,
Yes.
and
I was gonna bring that up.
I put one of the Fiatchi optics on it. Oh my god, people are losing their mind
I
because
bet.
the optic for it. So oh gosh, what's the name of the company? Arkin sent me an optic for it to review, and it wasn't going to be here for the range day. And finding a range where you can shoot a 50 cal is kind of tough. Most
Mm-hmm.
places don't let you do it.
That's true.
So this place, I was going to go shoot sporting clays with my neighbors, and the range is about an hour away, and they let you shoot 50 cal. And so I threw, the optic on it, and I was just showing how I was zeroing it with a laser. And it's a laser that goes in the barrel. With
Mm-hmm.
the 50 cal, because the break is like that big,
Mm-hmm.
the tail of the laser wasn't going to go into the barrel. And I ended up 3D printing a sleeve to go on that. so I could put it in the muzzle of the gun.
Wow.
And I was just talking about zeroing it and stuff like that. I just did a YouTube short. People lost their minds. Like one on the laser and what I was doing with it, and then the $35 optic.
Yeah.
And so that got a lot of engagement and a stinkload of views.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. If you ever get a chance, check out this guy, Kick Up Dust 308, and he has a 50 cal. Oh man, he just picks it up effortlessly and just let it rip. And he's just, yes, yeah. He brought it to the last meetup that we had, and I was just amazed. I'm like, wow. I want to shoot one, but I'm so scared. But you
It's
guys
not
make
that
it seem
bad. So
yeah, y'all say
big
that.
deal. Just keep it tight in your shoulder. The same company, so Safety Harbor Firearms, built my 50. They actually built a 50 pistol, and as long as you have it tight on your shoulder, it's not that bad. If you don't have it tight and you get whacked by it, yeah, that's tough.
I want to shoot one just to say I shot one.
Oh yeah.
I want to do that. So where do you see your channel? We're gonna wrap it up because I know you got things to do, busy man. Where are you seeing your channel going from here?
Yeah, I've been doing a mix of things on channels. I've started like 3 or 4 other channels that like have 0 videos, so they're not public yet. And so I figure my main channel, Flying Rich, is going to be gun content. I might switch it over to Flying Rich Firearms.
Okay.
I have a Flying Rich Vehicles channel and a Flying Rich Tech channel. So there's a couple of videos on the Flying Rich Vehicles. So I want to do like boats, cars, airplanes, stuff like that on the Vehicles channel. But yeah, Flying Rich is probably going to be mainly firearms. I've been, the algorithm seems to find me doing firearm stuff, so I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah, same here. Well, let everybody know how they can reach you on all your social media platforms.
Sure. So I'm pretty much Flying Rich everywhere except Instagram. I'm Flying Rich _official because some other guy got Flying Rich. YouTube, I'm Flying Rich. I even have a MySpace page as a joke. Oh. I figure I can't be canceled. It's like nobody's throwing you off of MySpace.
That is true. Oh my God, that's smart. I didn't think about that. I wonder if mine's still active. if I could think of the password.
Well, it took them a week. Like I couldn't find my password. It took a little over a week to get back to me with my password.
Oh, so they got back. Oh.
Okay.
Maybe I mean, it's worth. I didn't think anybody was still on there. So
right.
It might be worth a try.
You'd be the only one. You could be my second friend on MySpace.
What? That sounds like a plan. I'm seriously gonna look into it because actually, people was talking about that. Like, what happened to MySpace and this and that? I'm like, that's a good question. So you just confirmed that it's still around.
Yep.
Okay. Well, hold on one second. Let me do this outro. YouTube, that has been another great interview. Once again, I want to thank Flying Rich for coming on. I really appreciate you. Y'all make sure you guys go check out his content, especially with the whole 3D printing and building. It's so awesome. Hell, you might can build your own battery watching him. So make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and until the next one, we will see you guys later. Peace. All right, just hold that one second.